Gujarat is a dry state, but that didn't really stop us from having parties.
First time in IIM Ahmedabad, what does a typical day look like?
You're lucky if you get 5 hours of sleep per day. In my college, I was a topper. I'm just standing there like, maybe I don't belong here. So that imposter syndrome, especially in the first 3 months, is real. And it just feels like a pressure cooker, where you're just waiting for something or the other to happen. So I would just wake up as late as possible and still make it to class on time.
I had to convince my parents that I'm going to Bangalore because tech is coming up and Bangalore is the IT capital and Bangalore has better weather. I mean, the real reason was Bangalore has better beer and pubs.
Amitabh Bachchan's granddaughter, she's part of the course.
How were your 2 years in IIM Ahmedabad?
It was overwhelming in the beginning because I got into IMA thinking, I will ace it there, but I don't think I aced anything because in my college I was a topper. I was one of the top students in my department, and when I go in there, everyone's a topper. They've all done incredible things. People have written books. They've won medals for the country. They have patents, and I'm just standing there like, maybe I don't belong here. So that imposter syndrome, especially in the first 3 months, is real, and it just feels like a pressure cooker, where you're just waiting for something or the other to happen. We have surprise quizzes in the first year. We have cultural events like tea night, sports fest, sports meet. We are expected to, be part of clubs, engage in clubs, participate in case competitions, keep our grades up, do extracurricular activities. So when you do all of this, you barely sleep. Like sleep is you're lucky if you get 5 hours of sleep per day.
First time in IIM Ahmedabad, what does a typical day look like for you, both in class and out of class?
So classes start at 8 a.m. So some people they wake up at 7:45 and they rush immediately to class. Some people they take it slow. They wake up at 7 a.m. go eat breakfast in the mess. I wasn't one of those kids who ate breakfast for sure. So I would just wake up as late as possible and still make it to class on time. And first year we had three classes, and then it would finish at 1:30 ish, and then we would immediately head to the mess, and then that's where the fun part is. So if you had a surprise quiz that day, it gets announced 20 minutes into the lunch break. And you'll have the quiz starting at 2:30, which leaves you with maybe like 45 minutes to study for the prep, for the prep quiz. And then you have the quiz after lunch. So that lunch is, spent in anxiety. At exactly 1:45, you'll get a notification on your phone saying, okay, hey, there's a quiz for you guys today. So, in fact, in the second year, every time we get a notification, any notification, on our phones at 1:45, there's always an anxiety. They don't think we might have a quiz.
Got it. And when do classes end then? You've got your quiz typically at 2:30. And then do you have classes in the afternoon and evenings also?
No, no. After the quiz, you're free. You can study, you can catch up with friends, you can do projects, whatever you want. Some people, they choose to just crash after that for a couple of hours and then, get to their next to do this. But in the second year, you have classes till 8:30.
Right. And that must be because of electives and maybe guest professors and all
Yeah.
that. That is. And did you have parties and all that? I'm sure you did.
We did, but I would like to also put a disclaimer here. Gujarat is a dry state, but that didn't really stop us from having parties.
I absolutely now know what you mean, but I didn't when we got admission. So at that time, and this was in the late 90s, when we got admission, I had a choice between Ahmedabad and Bangalore. And Ahmedabad was close because I lived in Delhi, it was closer and all that, etc., etc. I chose Bangalore. And the biggest reason, to be very honest, it was based on my friend circle at that time, was like Bangalore was the pub capital of India, coming from Delhi, which itself was like nearly dry state. It was nearly dry. गुड़गांव जाके बियर खरीदते थे हम. दिल्ली में डबल प्राइस की मिलती थी. This was in the 90s. And Ahmedabad was a dry state. So we were like, I had to convince my parents that I'm going to Bangalore because tech is coming up and Bangalore is the IT capital and Bangalore has better weather. I mean, the real reason was Bangalore has better beer and pubs. I mean, that's how decisions used to happen back in the 90s with people like me. But I later came to know. To be very honest, I don't know whether I should feel sad or happy about it, but I came to know कि IIM के अंदर there is no dearth of supply.
That's true.
From friends I've made since, from batchmates and colleagues from IIM Ahmedabad, is कि there's no dearth of supply. So that was probably a decision based on low due
Mhm.
diligence, as we call it.
The fees that only covers what you're paying to the institute, that 24 lakhs. Over and above that, you have to take care of your room and boarding, like room and food expenses, or does 24 lakhs cover your room and the mess?
No, so the accommodation is part of the tuition fees. The mess, it's extra, it's subsidized, so it's not much. But other expenses like travel and if you're ordering in, then it's all not covered. There are a few courses which you have to pay a little bit more, 15 to 20,000, where you're taken to a different state or different place, and then the classes are done there. So there are some courses like that, and there's also the exchange term, which might cost you around anywhere between 5 to 6 lakhs at least for 3 months.
How big is the batch now? When
Mhm.
you graduated, how big was your total
Yeah. I
year?
think including the FABM course, it was somewhere between 350 to 400.
What does that mean? FABM क्या होता है?
It's this agri-based agri-business course that yeah, IIMA has.
Okay, right. And but pure MBA, PGP, whatever you call it, how much, how
Uh,
many students in 1 year?
Around 350.
350. And what's the class size now?
Class size was 80 to 90 per class, and we had 5 sections. Amitabh Bachchan's granddaughter, she's part of the course, so that went. People are talking about it a few months ago. The blended PGP program, the half online and half.